The UN Human Rights Council in Geneva has voted down a U.S.-led draft decision on alleged abuses in China's Xinjiang. China's foreign ministry responded to the draft decision, stressing that issues related to Xinjiang are not about human rights, but about countering terrorism, radicalization, and separatism. The ministry also accused the U.S. and some other Western countries of misinforming the public about Xinjiang to contain China's development. On September 26, over 100 diplomats, journalists, and officials attended a meeting on human rights achievements in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region on the sidelines of the UN Human Rights Council session. A lawmaker in the region gave a speech reviewing how China respects and safeguards human rights in Xinjiang, as well as the country's efforts to improve livelihood there. He also refuted allegations of human rights abuses in Xinjiang.
Some Western countries and individuals with vile motives choose to ignore the remarkable achievements of human rights in Xinjiang. They politicize the human rights issue in an attempt to destabilize Xinjiang and to have it secede from China. We hope that the UN human rights bodies remain objective and fair in safeguarding the morality and conscience of mankind.
On the same day, Pakistan, on behalf of nearly 70 countries, delivered a joint statement opposing politicization and double standards on human rights issues. The statement objects to interference in China's internal affairs under the pretext of human rights.
We maintain that all parties should abide by the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, adhere to principles of universality, impartiality, objectivity, and non-selectivity, and respect the right of people of each state to choose independently the path of development in accordance with their national conditions. All human rights should be treated with the same emphasis, with sufficient importance attached to economic, social, and cultural rights, and the right to development in particular.
In total, nearly 100 countries expressed their understanding of and support for China's legitimate position. China, on behalf of over 30 countries, also called on all parties to respect all countries' own choices to safeguard human rights.
The
Human Rights Council serves as a platform for constructive dialogue and cooperation for all parties. All parties should respect the right of each state to choose independently the path for human rights development in accordance with their national conditions, and oppose politicization of human rights and double standards.
During this year's session, China also strongly condemned the long-standing human rights problems of the West, especially in the United States, such as unilateral sanctions on other countries and individuals, arbitrary detention, and racial discrimination. China said some of the unilateral sanctions from the West, in fact, violate human rights in the name of defending them, meaning sanctions have been used as a political tool to subvert other legitimate governments. As for arbitrary detention, China's representative said the U.S. detained more than 1.7 million immigrants in 2021. It pointed out some of the detentions in Guantanamo Bay camp have lasted for 2 decades. China urged the U.S. to address domestic racial discrimination issues such as police violence. A study by the U.S. Justice Department shows Black Americans are more likely than whites to be stopped, searched, and arrested by police.
What we've seen is, if you are poor and Black, you are not going to get, in most cases, a fair shot in this criminal justice system. Even from minor offenses all the way up to more serious offenses.
China expressed readiness to work with all parties to combat all forms of racial discrimination, defend each individual's dignity, and build an inclusive and equal society.